Welcome to Creator's Head Studio. I'm Tom Arcu, feature film producer, director, screenwriter, and novelist.
And I'm John Colton, creator of ColtonComics.com and writer of Paul Bunyan versus Dracula.
Wow, big news. The new 5-minute trailer. 5 minutes of the film. Fantastic.
I'm really excited now.
Yeah.
I was cautiously optimistic. I think I've upgraded that to optimistic.
Yes.
It has me looking forward to this summer
Hmm.
and taking the whole family to the movies,
Excellent.
which, is not something you get to do very much.
Yeah.
And make everybody happy. But I think
Yeah.
this could be that type of movie. And I'm still a little bit cautiously optimistic, but I just loved how on comic book everything was.
Okay.
The Fortress of Solitude
Oh, yeah.
to the robots in the Fortress of Solitude, the
Yes.
way there was the giant door. It was comic books come to life.
Yes.
And I also had a lot of emotional reaction to what I saw, a lot of feelings happening
Yeah.
and a lot of heartfelt sincerity.
Hmm.
And I think this might be as good
Hmm.
as the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman,
Wow.
which
Big praise. Now, I also want to say something about this. Thank you, James Gunn, for being a writer and a director. I mean, this is phenomenal. What bugs me now is that everybody's worried about AI and things like that. But when you have someone who knows how to take real life experiences and put it into film and make something fresh, this scene with Crypto, I mean, this is masterful writing, masterful directing, all departments working at full speed, doing everything excellent. And the arc. So he's in horrible shape. He calls for help from Crypto, and Crypto's a nut. He jumps all over him. He wants to play. Oh my gosh, you're back. He wants to play. And as he's jumping on him, he's hurting him. And it's funny because a lot of times humor comes out of pain and things like that. And it's funny. But then finally, and I was waiting for this, the dog goes, "Oh, he's hurt. I'm going to lick his face. I'm going to lick his face." And so then he has trouble. We saw the quick cut, but he has trouble even giving him the cape. And what got me is I'm laughing, I'm in it. The scene has an arc to the whole scene. We see this wonderful relationship. It's very realistic because James Gunn really has a dog, and dogs are nuts sometimes, and it all works. But then when it got to the part where we also have he's got a couple of robot companions, and the one robot companion is being sarcastic, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, I'm an automaton. I don't have any sentience," that kind of thing. And you just by saying it, you get it. And then when the oh she's new, the young lady, and says, "Oh he talked to me," that kind of thing. So you can see that they have sentience. And then when they analyze that he's got broken ribs and he's all busted up and he screams in pain while they put him back together again. I have never seen in the comics or whatever form, I've never seen something where Superman is the underdog who does not give up. It costs him, just like in real life, it costs us when we are compassionate and kind and we put time in and we put effort in and we feel pain and all that kind of stuff. It cost him to be Superman. And he's going to go right back out there. And then also the whole idea of being comic book accurate about, the sun helping him heal. Amazing. And AI didn't do this. A human being wrote this. And what gets me, to finish off my quick comment about AI, is I've got a friend. He's a software engineer, and he says he's written 6 books. No, he has assembled 6 books with AI. He has not written them. He didn't take his own personal experience like James Gunn did and make dialogue and stuff like that. He has basically got AI to copy stuff from the internet. And there's a reason why you can't copyright stuff when you use stuff copied from the internet. And so he hasn't written 6 novels. I've written 4, and I mean, I wrote them. And so every time he was saying to me, "Oh, yeah, the next book I wrote, the next book I wrote," I just kept my mouth shut because I wanted to say, "You didn't write them. An AI didn't write them. It's assembled. You are not a writer, you are an assembler. And if you've rejected part of the AI stuff, you're an editor, but that's not a writer." Carry on.
Yeah, I think you bring up a lot of good points.
Hmm.
And what you said about James Gunn, it kind of struck me, if you put in a prompt
Hmm.
into one of the Chat GPT or Grok and you
Hmm.
ask them to write a synopsis for a Superman reboot,
Uh-huh.
they would have come up with none of this stuff.
Yes.
Like it would not have been there
Hmm.
because they don't have A, a relationship with a dog, or
Hmm.
B, they haven't read years and years of comic book stories
Right.
to, glean all this world building
Hmm.
and put it together. And
Right.
the best they're going to do is some sort of assemblage of what has come before
Hmm.
mixed with a couple of internet rumors.
Okay.
And that's basically what the studios do a lot of the time
Hmm.
is, but this they've hired an artist.
Yes,
And so
that's
you're getting
art.
art.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what we celebrate here at Creators Edge Studio. We celebrate creators who actually make something fresh. And you can only make something fresh when you put it into a person and has synergy and you get new output, not recycled output, not something stale. One of the things I was studying a book called Defining Moments, and it was for writers and actors. And the idea here is that if you copy previous films, you must have something stale. But if you originate something, and Julia Cameron long ago said that original, now I'm bringing it down to one sentence, but basically she wrote half a page, but it means this. Original means you're the origin of the work. And what I want to say is, I am so glad that James Gunn is the origin of this work. It's really working. And of course, he has experience. I mean, he made the Guardians of the Galaxy films. He has experience doing this. So he hones his craft over years of showing up and doing the work.
Yeah. Well, and I love that he's not doing anything close to what happens in the studios a lot of times
Mhm.
when they make a comic book movie and they're like, well, we need to change everything
Uh-huh.
so that regular people will understand it.
Hmm.
And he's just going all in like, yeah, it's Kryptonian,
Hmm.
there's technology, there's robots, there's the
Right.
Fortress of Solitude, there's kaiju, there's Mr. Terrific, there's the Green Lantern, there's
Hmm.
Hawkgirl. He's just putting it out there like a comic book, and it's going to work
Yes.
as long as the story is something that keeps you involved and has you emotionally invested in the characters. And it looks like that's going to happen.
Yes.
And
Absolutely. I
and,
I am
and
with you.
that's just the key. Like if you whatever you're doing, just do that. If you're
Yes.
making a Western, make a Western. Don't apologize for making a Western. If
Right.
you're making an action movie, make the most super badass action movie you can. If you're
Exactly.
making a comic book movie, comic book it up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, what the normies are going to think, because what you're going to have is comic book fans going to see this movie three, four, five, six times. You don't make money by worrying about losing money.
It's true. So what happened was I was into the Batman when Superman, the movie, Richard Donner's film came out. But it was so good, I saw it 6 times at the movie theater. I just brought other people with me, but I saw it 6 times.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Richard Donner did really well also. He comic booked it up. He
Hmm.
had the planet Krypton.
Hmm.
He had Kryptonian technology. He
Yes.
showed their trials. He
Hmm.
showed the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
These are kind of far out concepts straight
Hmm.
out of the comic book that I'm
Right.
sure there was a lot of hesitation from some people in the studio. Like,
Got it.
should we include all of this? And,
Hmm.
and Lex Luthor and the Kryptonite, and he, travels through time. Like, this is maybe too much, too far out. But that's the thing. You make the type of movie you're going to make, and you push that genre, tell that story,
Yes.
and you don't compromise. And it's wonderful to see. Now, that being said, not all the reaction has been as positive as me and yours.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of folks on
Right in the
Twitter
comments below. We'll
say,
read them.
They still miss Henry Cavill.
Okay.
I get it. Although I thought David Corenswet looked like Superman,
Hmm.
and other people were saying that he's getting beat up too much, and we never see Clark Kent smile.
Hmm.
And okay, that's
Okay.
well,
Well,
those are things, but I'm mostly, I'm story driven.
mhm.
If the story's good, the movie's going to work.
Exactly. And so we want to thank you for being with us. And by the way, talking about a great story, my friend right here with us, John Colton, has a great story. It's called Paul Bunyan versus Dracula. And so we invite you. He's got the launch on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and Fund My Comic. The links are below. We want to invite you to continue to support us because we do appreciate it. Like and subscribe, but also consider joining his launch. And this is what we're all about here at Creators Edge Studio. Once again, that's Creators Edge Studio. And we have the merchandise too. So thank you for being with us.